Elias and the Lesson of the Sea. On board Her Majesty's ship Fitz, the ocean stretched in every direction, endless and mysterious. The ship's sails billowed proudly, carrying its crew through rolling waves and salty winds. Among them was Elias, the ship's old cook, who loved the sea almost as much as his pots and pans. But this morning, Elias wasn't humming his usual tune. He sat on a wooden crate by the rail, staring at the water. His face was as gloomy as storm clouds. Just days before, Elias had faced the greatest challenge of his life. A giant marlin, silver blue like polished steel, darting and thrashing with strength that shook his arms. He had hooked the fish at sunrise, and for hours he held on, sweat dripping, heart pounding. "Come on, my beauty," he had whispered through gritted teeth. "You'll make the finest feast this ship has ever seen." The battle raged. The marlin leapt into the air, its body sparkling in the sunlight like a blade of lightning, before crashing back into the sea. The crew had gathered to cheer, amazed at Elias's determination. At last the fish began to tire. With aching muscles, Elias pulled and pulled until the marlin was right at the ship's side. Victory was in his grasp. But then, crash! The sky darkened. A furious storm rolled in as if the sea itself had grown jealous. Waves slammed against the ship. The deck tilted. Elias clutched the line, but a monstrous surge yanked it from his hands. With a final splash, the marlin vanished into the deep. Elias fell to his knees, his prize gone, his hours of effort wasted. And now, days later, the old cook still sat glumly, staring at the rolling waves. "Why did the sea take it from me?" he muttered. That's when Anyati, a kind young sailor, noticed him. Anyati had weathered many hardships in life, storms, accidents, even the loss of family, but he always carried a calm strength about him. He walked over and sat beside Elias. "The sea gives and the sea takes," Anyati said gently, his eyes on the horizon. "But it doesn't always explain itself. It just is." Elias frowned. "But I fought for that marlin with everything I had. For what? Nothing." Anyati tilted his head. "You see only the loss, Elias, but I see something else. The storm that struck after you lost the fish, it was wild and dangerous. Imagine if you had pulled the marlin aboard, you'd have been stuck on deck, tying it down just as the waves hit. You might have been swept overboard." Elias shook his head. "That's just luck, just coincidence." "Maybe," Anyati said, smiling softly. "Or maybe the sea wasn't against you at all. Maybe it was for you. Sometimes life isn't about what happens to us, but what happens for us. The meaning isn't in the storm or the marlin, it's in how we choose to see it and what we learn." Elias was quiet. He looked at his calloused hands and thought of the marlin's powerful leaps, the storm's fury, and then the calm that had followed. He remembered how the stars had shone that night, brighter than ever, as if the heavens had swept the sky clean just for them. He glanced at Anyati. "So maybe losing the marlin wasn't the end of something. Maybe it was the beginning of something else." Anyati nodded. "Exactly. The sea didn't steal from you. It gave you something new, the chance to reflect, to be grateful, to understand its power and your place within it." Elias let out a slow breath. The ache of loss was still there, but it felt lighter now, like a knot loosening. He smiled faintly, his first real smile in days. "Perhaps the sea is a better teacher than I thought," he said. "Always has been," Anyati replied, "but only to those who listen." And for the first time, Elias realized that the marlin's escape had not been a cruel trick of fate. It had been a gift, an unseen blessing wrapped inside the waves. Moral of the story: things don't always happen to us, they happen for us. Even when life seems unfair, every twist and turn carries a lesson, a gift, or a new path waiting to be discovered. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.